Hi everyone, this is Jocelyn and I'm playing Gemstone Legends. I was reading through materials over the last couple of days, and I've noticed that Gemstone Legends has their heroes divided up into three categories. And that's what I want to talk about today. There are categories and subcategories. And then I have a few examples of each kind of hero, and we're going to look at a couple of them just to see what we're talking about here, because I'm exploring this right along with you. So the three categories there are, the first category is attack, the second is specialist, and the third is tank. And each one of these categories has subdivisions. So in the first one, attack, it's divided into four different types of attack hero. The first one is attack mage. And according to their material, the attack mage specializes in high damage to one or all opponents, quickly replenishes mana so they can use their special skills more often. Among the legendaries, the only one who's in this category is in Dark Followers, and it's Gladiosa. And we can see that this is her base. She starts with 15,362 health points. She has 1,652 on attack, 1,542 on defense. And those are pretty good numbers. She starts with 90 speed, which is really fast. She has 0 resistance. She has 8% accuracy, a crit rate of 15%, crit damage at 56, which is a nice high starting point for crit damage, and a mana gain of 23. The specials that she does are based on attack to a single enemy, with a 100% chance to inflict bleeding for 4 turns 2 times, and 100% to inflict silence for 2 turns. So silence means the opponent can't use their special. And this is all attack based. And here's her Bloodlust skill, which inflicts bleeding for 4 turns whenever she deals damage with gemstones. That's a really nice skill to have. Her accuracy is increased by 20% for every 50 points of speed. And she's immune to colorblind, and she cannot be silenced. So she's immune to silence as well. But this gives us some clues as to how you want to build her. Her accuracy is increased for 20% by 20% for every 50 speed. So it's going to be critical to build her up with more speed. I mean, she starts with a nice amount, but this gives us a clue that she needs more speed in order for this skill to proc and work correctly. In the first one, on an attack base, the damages are attack base for both the skills, right? So we know that she starts with pretty high attack. She needs a much higher crit rate, and you want to crit damage up, and you want speed. So I would say the focus here would be primarily speed first, then crit rate, crit damage, and then attack. Because crit rate and crit damage, of course, are the highest forms of attack she can do. So that description, what she's supposed to do, she specializes in high damage to one or more enemies, right? So it could be an AoE hitter or a single hero hitter. She quickly replenishes mana, and also she shows up in rotation more often with high speed. So you might want to bump mana where you can, or maybe use mana gear and use the mana gear and look for high crit rate, high crit damage, speed. And the whole point is you want her to fire as often as possible. Now, I don't have her, and I haven't tried her on the raid boss, but I have noticed that certain skills do not seem to affect the raid boss. So this is an example of an attack mage. Okay, so we're going back to here, and the next one we're going to look at is the Attack Assassin. The Attack Assassin has high damage, high speed, but low health, used to eliminate individual targets. So the assassins are your snipers. And we have Lurker and Xavier, who are in that category in the Legos. So let's go to the lexicon, and we will look for Lurker first, and there he is. High speed, high damage. So again, he starts in the 1500s, which seems to be about average for legendaries for health points. His attack starts at 1645. His defense is a little lower at 1448. His speed starts at 99. He has no resistance. He's got 10% accuracy and the 15% crit rate and 56% crit damage and a 22 mana gain. So here we have some clues. He deals high damage. That's the point. So the crit rate's going to have to come up. Let's see it. Let's check his specials. All right, 100% chance to inflict burn for 2 turns, twice. 100% chance to inflict burn on all other enemies for 2 turns, and then deals damage based on attack to a single enemy. So a portion of his damage, excuse me, is based on attack. Let's look at his second skill. Deals 16% more damage to every burn affecting an enemy. So any enemies that are burning, he will hit harder. And he gains increased attack and increased critical damage for 5 turns whenever he kills an enemy. And here we have a couple more clues. Critical damage and increased attack augment his skills. So looking back again, we can see that we want to do accuracy. Get that accuracy up, get the crit rate and crit damage up, and attack last. Now, mind you, this is an opinion, and I'm just reading this out, and this is what I would do if I had him. I don't. Okay, so the next category is Attack Warrior. Deals a lot of damage, can stay alive longer than other attackers, and this class can stun and weaken an enemy. And we have Klaus, the new one. He's in here, and a legendary named Maherald. So let's look at Klaus just for fun, because so many of us are interested in him. He's a member of the Iron. Let's see here. I believe this is it. No, that's Empire. Iron Clans, the bear. And there he is. So let's look at Klaus. Klaus starts with 18,342 health points. That's an awesome amount. He has 1637 for attack, 1596 for defense. So those are both pretty healthy. He starts with 91 speed, no resistance, 10% accuracy, and the standard 15% crit rate, 56% crit damage, and a 21 mana gain. So let's look at his special, Sack for Everyone. Deals damage based on attack to all enemies. So he's an AoE hitter. He hits them all. And it's based on attack. And we all know that means crit rate's got to come up, crit damage has got to come up, accuracy's got to come up, and attack. Excuse me, got a little tickle. Okay, so that's an attack warrior. Let's look at his skills. He doesn't have any stun. So the other one is Maherald. And Maherald is also Iron Clan. So let's look at him. There he is. Ooh, I love his little beard, his little mustache braids. He starts at 15,482 health points, 1652 attack, and defense is 1560. He starts with 100 speed, no resistance, only 8% accuracy, 15% on the crit rate, 56 on the crit damage, and 18 on the mana gain. So let's look at his skills. Bear power. Gains Color Master and increases critical damage for 9 turns. Not sure what that means, but that's one of those things we have to look at. I'm assuming it has to do with colorblind. And then Dwarven Fury. So apparently he's a dwarf. Can match gemstones 4 times. Instead of doing 3, he'll do 4 on his attack. Attack is increased by 200 for every 20 speed. Ooh, looks like we need a little more speed on there too. Immune to decreased attack, decreased critical damage, and color blindness. So he's definitely in the colorblind thing on this first one. So he must be able to make other people colorblind, but it doesn't say that. So I'm going to have to check that out a little bit further. I don't see any stun on him, but I know that there are warrior assassins or attack warriors who do carry stun. And he definitely does some weaken. So he's going to need more speed, but for every, how much speed? For every 20 speed. So he starts out with an increased attack rate of 5%, I think, because it's for every 20, and there are 5 20s and 100. So his attack is going to go up 20, so that puts him at 1672 in attack. That's pretty awesome. So we want more speed, we want more accuracy, we want crit rate, crit damage, and attack. Anything that can bump up attack, because that directly impacts his special, so that's awesome. Okay, now that is the attack warrior. The next one is attack ranger. There's only one legendary who is an attack ranger, that's Cyril. But attack rangers, like assassins, don't have a lot of health points. Their great advantage is high speed combined with fast mana gain. I'm going to assume fast mana gain is just built right into the hero. And that happens when they get hit or they do tile moves. So let's take a look at Cyril. Cyril is in the Slavs, in the lexicon. There we are. Cyril. Here he is. Bow and arrow guy. Ranger for sure. He starts with 14,630 in health points, 1604 attack, 1425 in defense, 108 speed. No resistance, 8% accuracy, the standard 15% and 56% on crit rate, crit damage, and a 23 mana gain. So let's look at his special. Also, he's a leader. In arena, he bumps crit rate up by 25%, but only in the arena. So let's look at his specials. He deals damage based on attack to a single enemy. Removes 2 positive statuses. Gains increased speed for 5 turns. We don't know how much of an increase he gets, but he gets 1 for 5 turns. His secondary skill is not on my watch. Deals 7.5 more damage for each other living ally. So he's going to be more powerful at the beginning of the battle when everybody's alive. As people die, his damage, he does less and less of this increased damage. 100% chance to inflict decreased speed on an enemy for 3 turns whenever using his special ability, if this enemy is not affected by positive statuses. So you've got to remove the status and then this applies. And then there's a 30% chance to use his special ability twice. He's pretty intriguing. A lot of these guys, because they're so very different than heroes that I'm used to, are kind of mysteries. And this guy is kind of in a mystery, you know. He's a new thing. So we have the attack heroes and the 4 types: mage, assassin, warrior, and ranger. And we've looked at examples in the legendaries of all of these. The next group is the specialist group, and they have a support role. They can heal, and they can support allies, but their damage is the weakest of all the hero types, and they are divided into 3 classes. And the first one is healer. Their duty is to keep everybody else alive, and they quickly refill mana and can take a lot of damage. So Nefre is the legendary who is a legendary healer. So let's look at Nefre. Oops, lexicon. There she is. So let's look at her. Yep, she starts with 16,280 health points. She has a 1557 attack and a 1552 defense. Her attack is kind of low. Her defense is a little higher. Her speed is 102. She has no resistance. Her accuracy is 8%. She has a 15% critical rate and 56% crit damage and 20 on the mana gain. So let's look at her actual specials. Restores 30% of HP to an ally and herself. So she heals 2. She always heals herself, and then she'll probably heal an ally who's a little bit lower in health. She grants Soul Link to an ally and to herself for 3 turns, and then removes 2 negative statuses from an ally. Soul Link, I think, is kind of like she takes some of the damage, but also any of the gain. So there's that link between the two. But let's take a look. That's Mother's Love. So the next one is Mother's Protection. She grants recovery to all allies for 3 turns whenever an ally is killed. Recovery seems to be heal over time. Once per battle, resurrects an ally with 1 HP and uses her special ability. Is immune to silence, so she can't be silenced. So she resurrects 1 ally with a single hit point, and then she does Mother's Love. She restores 30%. And then she grants a Soul Link to herself for 3 turns, and then removes 2 negative statuses. So, a very complex special. Based on this, it wouldn't hurt to bump up her health a little bit. Definitely wouldn't. I don't think she really needs crit rate or crit damage so much as mana gain and defense. And possibly, and I don't even think she needs much accuracy, so I would concentrate on health, on defense, health, and maybe mana gain, wherever you can put her in mana gear. These are just educated guesses. This is not expert stuff at all. Okay, so the next type of specialist that we've got is called a support. They help the team by granting positive or removing negative statuses. They are faster but less durable than other healers. So one of those is Dobrinka. We'll look at her. She's in the Slavs. I have her, so I know a little bit more about how she works. So Dobrinka is a leader, but you can use her anywhere you've got a red team going, where you have, multiple red. She helps red heroes only. So she is a little bit more limited. So here's what they said. Helps the team by granting positive or removing negative statuses. They are faster but less durable than healers. Well, she starts with 113 speed, and that's one of the highest I've seen in the game. Her HP is 17,230. She's got an attack of 1578 and a defense of 1516. 113 speed, no resistance, 10% accuracy, the standard 15% crit rate, 56% crit damage, and 20 mana gain. Those three stats all seem to be very similar on every hero that we've looked at so far. So let's look at her thing. She grants mana breath and recovery to all allies for 5 turns. Mana breath increases the amount of mana you're getting. It's like you get a mana bump. That's what I've seen. And recovery, like I said, is kind of similar to heal over time. And then mind to body. Restores 5 mana to all allies at the start of her turn if her health points are at 50% or higher. She restores 4% HP of all allies at the start of her turn if below 50% health power, and grants immunity to all allies for 3 turns at the start of each wave. So she's a very handy hero to have, and she's even better when you're running all red, like on a raid boss. Her skill totally operates on her allies, so on your other team members. So accuracy is probably not a big deal. She does pack a bit of a punch with tiles. So that's pretty awesome. I would say her defense could come up. Maybe resistance could come up. And anything you can do for mana for her. And then I like the idea of speed, because then she comes up in rotation more frequently. And those recovery things, they stack. You can have an awful lot of recovery on your heroes, and it will go on and on and on. They don't expire. Okay, and that is the Specialist Dobrinka. The other one is Gwyn. And she is from the Empire in the lexicon. So she's part of the Empire. Let's go back to that. Empire is there. And there she is. Guinevere starts with 15,369 HP, 1565 attack, 1474 in defense. She is a leader. She is a speed leader. She increases the speed of all allies, but only when you're fighting in the rifts, by 22%. Her speed is 112, which is really good. No resistance, 8% accuracy, and the standard 15, 56, and 20-something down on the last column here in crit rate, crit damage, mana gain. Let's look at her special. She restores 22% HP of all allies. She grants increased speed for 2 turns and removes 1 random negative status. So that would be a debuff. And then her second special, Queen's Stern Glance, restores 4% HP of all allies first time she takes damage from a special ability in a turn. That's pretty specific. Removes 1 random positive status from an enemy whenever she deals damage with gemstones. So she's going to hit them with the gemstones and take away a positive status, assuming there are any on them. So here we want some HP. Her HP could come up. Her defense can come up. I think mana can come up. I don't think accuracy is necessary. A huge thing, but some of that could come up because she does remove things. So you want her to place and remove. But so she's a support in the specialist category. The last category for this one is Specialist Warlock. They're the weird ones. So let's take a look at what we have. Warlocks specialize in disturbing opponents. Okay. These heroes can cast many negative statuses, strip opposing team of positive statuses, or apply crowd control effects. They have high speed and high fast mana gain. So I'm thinking they got things like colorblind, silence, raise and lower attack, that kind of stuff. They have high speed and fast mana gain. And we have two under this category that are legendaries, Jasper and Zarkon. Zarkon is, we'll take a look at him first. He's in the Forest Keepers. He is the only Lego in Forest Keepers. Oh, and speaking of which, in the Desert Nomads, do you see that there are absolutely no epics? Interesting. Okay, back to Jasper, or Zarkon. Alright, he is a Specialist Warlock. His base stats are HP 16,239, 1501 for attack, 1627 for defense, 106 on speed, no res. Accuracy is at 8%, crit rate and crit damage are the normal 15 and 56, and around 20 for the mana gain. So let's look at his specials, and his first one is Rotten Denomination. 100% chance to inflict decreased defense on all enemies for 3 turns. 65% chance to inflict poison on all enemies for 3 turns, 3 times. So that's interesting, and I wonder how this all works out. I've got to assume that he hits them 3 times for poison per turn, plus the decrease defense. So he would be an awesome dude to have. I would love to have him, or someone like him who's an epic. Twisted Priorities. Speed increased by 4 for every 10% accuracy. Immune to color blindness and mana choke. So you can't stop his mana gain, and you can't confuse him about which to hit or whatever it is the color blindness does. But we see the need for accuracy. And his accuracy is only at 8%. So this one, you're going to have to bump up on accuracy. I think because he does do things to other people, accuracy is going to be important. Maybe crit rate, crit damage will be important. Mana, that will be important. So you can kind of see as these descriptions go along, there are little clues in them about how you want to build them. So I really encourage everyone to take some time and read through all the information you can find and check these specials out, because this is going to tell you stuff that you need to know. So he is our last specialist, and the last group is Tank. Tank is a defensive role. They can take the most damage and shield their allies. Tank damage is higher than a specialist, but lower than the attackers. And there are 3 classes of tank. The first one is Guardian. Their role is to take damage. They have very high health points and defense, but are quite slow. And our example for this one is Alexander, who is an Empire in the Empire faction. So let's look there and see. There he is, Alexander. He looks like a tough dude. So his HP is at 16,432. He's got 1506 on attack, 1565 on defense. His speed is at 95. He has no resistance. He has 10% accuracy and the standard 15 and 56% on crit rate and damage. and the standard mana gain of 20%. So let's look at his first special, which is Adamant Will. Gains Taunt. Ooh, that's a nice one. Increase defense and increase resistance for 4 turns. Taunt, if he sets up Taunt, then the enemy can only hit him, right? So Taunt is a good thing, and that means he's got to have really high HP and really good defense, because you don't want him to die too soon. His second skill is Determination. 25% chance to restore 5% HP whenever taking damage. I'm assuming he's restoring it to himself. 20% less damage received if below 50% HP. So the more they hit him, the less damage is done to him. So he can be very helpful in situations where you have weaker heroes who have stronger attack. You can draw off enemy attack to this guy, and if you build him up right, he's going to survive it, and he's actually going to heal while he's taking damage. He's pretty awesome, I gotta say. He's another one I would love to have. So for him, as we already talked about, high defense, high health. Accuracy, it can always come up. Mana gain, you want him to be able to gain mana. So, but he's a defender, so you may want to put him in gear that augments defense, and if it's got defense and something else with it, that would be good too. So he is our example of a tank guardian. The next one is called Tank Bruiser. It's a class that can take and deals a great deal of damage. Low speed is compensated by high attack and health points. And Sophia is our example for that one, and Sophia is one of the Slavs. So let's go back into the lexicon to the Slavs, and we are looking for Sophia, and there she is. And look at her health points: 17,069 in health, 1573 in attack, 1666 on defense. She has 97 speed, no resistance, 10% accuracy, and 15% crit rate, 56 crit damage, and a slightly lower mana gain of 18. So let's look at how her special... Okay, she's a defense leader, but only in the arena. She increases defense of all allies in the arena, so she'd be great for arena battles. She'd go in there with augmented defense. That would be wonderful. So armor Patre Nostra Lex. Gains increased damage for 3 turns. 100% chance to inflict decreased defense for 3 turns. Then deals damage based on defense to a single enemy. So she's gaining increased defense for 3 shots at the tiles. And then she's got a 100% chance to inflict a decreased defense on whoever she hits for 3 turns. And then after that, after she's built herself up with this increased defense, she deals damage based on how much defense she's got to a single enemy. So she takes a little winding up, but it looks like she packs a heck of a punch. Her second special is Winged Hussar. 75% chance to inflict decreased defense on all enemies for 3 turns whenever she kills an enemy. And she is immune to decreased defense. So if she kills someone, everybody else in the enemy party gets decreased defense. Then she can go back, build herself up again, and so she's really a kind of an efficient kind of killing machine. So what does she need? Well, she's going to need some accuracy. She's going to need crit rate, crit damage. But she's going to need defense because her damage is defense-based. She does not need attack. She could use a little more speed, in my opinion. And the mana gain is really poor. So she's a decent hero, and she is our example of a tank bruiser. And yeah, she's definitely that. The last tank subdivision is Protector, although they are referred to as tank wardens on some of the cards. These are lighter armored heroes with very high speed and mana gain. Their role is to cast as many positive or negative statuses as possible. So they're going to help your team with positive statuses and hurt the other team by casting negative statuses. In this category, we have two. We have Sigil and Leopold, and they both are in the same faction, the Empire. So let's go take a look at them and see if this all rings true. So Sigil, she is one of them. She has 16,419 HP, 1442 attack, 1544 defense. So she has much higher defense than attack. 104 speed, no resistance, 8% accuracy, the 15 and 56 on crit rate and damage, and then she has a 25 mana gain, which is one of the higher ones. So let's look at her special. Her first one is Holy Symphony. Removes one negative status from all allies, and then recovers 20% mana to all other allies. Wow. Okay. So she gives mana. Blessed Cleansing is her second ability. Her special ability is used twice if below 30% HP. So she's going to hit more often if she's lower in health. Uses her special ability whenever affected by 4 or more negative statuses. So if they pile on the negative statuses to her, she goes right into Holy Symphony. And she removes a negative status from all the allies and then recovers 20% mana to all other allies. And I'm assuming all other means except for herself. So we definitely want to see some mana armor on this chick and some defense. Accuracy maybe. Although she's really pulling off. She's not putting on, she's pulling off. I think that defense, you can't hurt by giving her more health, more accuracy, and mana gear for sure. That's how I would call it anyway. So let's look at another example. And that would be Alexander, I believe. No, Leopold. Here he is, Leopold, Tank Warden. See how they say Tank Warden instead of Tank Protector. He comes with 15,895 HP, 1447 on attack. Again, his defense is higher at 1534. He has 107 speed, no resistance, 8% accuracy, and the last column is pretty much the same as it always is on these guys. So let's look at his specials. Oh, he's in a leader in the arena. He increases the HP of all allies in the arena by 30%. So another great one to take into an arena battle. Their buddy is his first special, which is pretty funny. He sacrifices 75% of his current HP to resurrect an ally with 25% HP. So he will go down 75% and bring back a dead ally with 25% HP. Wow. Let's see what his second one is. 33% to grant increased defense, reflect, and immunity to an ally with the lowest HP for 3 turns at the start of his turn. Resistance and defense are increased by 25% if at 100 mana. Well, that gives you a huge clue right there. Definitely need more mana on this guy. You want a lot of HP because he's going to slaughter himself by 75% in order to resurrect somebody. You want high defense on him, so while he has sacrificed his HP, he's not going to be as susceptible to damage. I would say resistance. This is one where you want some high resistance on it. Maybe some accuracy as well, but for sure you want more mana on him. So you can see how these different types kind of show us, if you read the special descriptions and look at them, and you understand what they're supposed to do, and then you look at that in view of what their special is, and you look at that in view of what they actually start out with as base, their base stats. So you want to take the time here to kind of explore the lexicon, especially on the heroes you have. I am going to work up a chart of epic and eventually rare that they fall in, because the interesting thing is these all fall into different color categories as well. And there are entire families that in the epics that are all of one type of, like, say, tank bruiser. They're all tank bruisers. So there are plenty of heroes spread out between all the different hero levels, like legendary, epic, rare, uncommon, and common. So this, I hope, will be helpful in kind of getting the idea of what you look at in the stats once you understand the description of what they're supposed to do overall and what they specifically do with their specials. So you guys keep playing Gemstone Legends, and we will figure this stuff all out. Until I do another video, and I might do another one on this. I might do one on the epics, because I think that's going to be relevant to all of us. I will see you soon, and you all take care.